Good morning, students. In the previous class, we have discussed about EMF and terminal voltage. Today's class, we will discuss about Kirchhoff's law. Or Kirchhoff's rule. Kirchhoff's has given some rule to find the value of current in a complicated circuit. Complicated circuit means in a closed circuit in which not only single cell is present, various cells may be there and various current elements may be there. Maybe various resistor may be there in the circuit, or capacitor or inductor, various things may be occur in a single circuit. So that circuit is difficult to solve, and for that Kirchhoff has given two rules. First law, or Kirchhoff's first rule, that sum of current meeting at a junction is 0. Junction means where more than two conductors are connected at a point, that is known as junction. Suppose any complicated circuit is there like this. Here. Now, if one more circuit is there, the point at which more than two conductors meet, see this point P. Here you can see that this is one conductor, this is another conductor, this is the third conductor. More than two, maybe third, maybe three, maybe four. This is the also the point where more than two conductors meet. So these are known as junction. And this point is not junction because only two conductors are there. This point is also not junction. Clear? So sum of current meeting at a junction is equal to 0. This is based on conservation of charge. Based on conservation of charge. Suppose this is the point, this is the junction. Now, according to this rule, sum of the current meeting at a point is 0. Means when current is flowing, it is taking some charge with it. The charge will not stop at any point. It will have a continuous flow. For that, suppose some charge is coming here, some charge is coming here, some is going here, some is going here. Meaning is that no charge will get stored at this point. Whatever charge is entering, the same charge will leave from this point, such that the sum of all the charge is 0. In that case, the incoming current or the charge, here we will talk only of current, the incoming current is taken as positive, because to make it 0, some must be positive and some must be negative. Clear? Such that the addition of them is equal to 0. Then only the addition will be 0. So it is told that the incoming current moving toward junction, current moving toward junction is taken as positive current, and current moving away from the junction is taken as negative current. Clear? This you have to see. What Kirchhoff has told, the sum of current meeting at the junction, the sum of current at the junction is zero. Means if such conductor is there and if you are holding at this point, conductor at this point, there will be no current. Means you will not get the shock. Here. So in this case, according to Kirchhoff's law, we are taking current as positive and negative. Generally we are not taking. Now in Kirchhoff's law, the incoming current we will take positive and outgoing as negative. You can take vice versa also. But the sum must be zero. Means the total current moving toward junction is equal to total current moving away from the junction, away from junction. You can see here how it is happening. The current which is moving toward the junction is positive. So this two will be positive. And current moving away is taken as negative. And what is the sum of all the current? Zero. So this I1 and I2 is the total incoming current toward the junction, and I3 and I4, this minus will go in this side and it will become I3 plus I4. What is I3 and I4? Current leaving from the junction. So that current moving toward the junction will be always equal to current moving away from the junction. This is Kirchhoff's first law. Now, this is also known as junction rule. Because we are applying this rule at junction, so this is known as Kirchhoff's junction rule. Kirchhoff's junction rule. Here, and this deals with the current, so it is, in short, it is known as Kirchhoff's current rule. This is Kirchhoff's current rule. So these are the names which is given to first law or first rule of Kirchhoff's. Kirchhoff's current rule, Kirchhoff's junction rule, and what is this rule? Total current moving toward the junction, total current moving away from the junction, or sum of current meeting at the junction is zero. In that, the incoming current is taken as positive and the outgoing current is taken as negative. So that's all in the first law. Now I am giving one question, try to solve. This is 2 ampere, this is 3 ampere, this is 4 ampere. Find I1, this is 5 ampere, this is I2. This is 2 ampere, this is suppose I3, this is 1 ampere. Now you have to find I1, I2 and I3. Now see how we are applying. You have to apply the first rule at the junction. Now sum of current at this junction must be 0. So incoming current are taken as positive. So 2 plus 3 plus 4 at this point A, at junction A. Now this current is going out, so this is minus I1, this is 0. So 3 plus 2 5 plus 9 minus I1 is 0. What is I1? 9 ampere. So this is 9 ampere. Now come to this junction. Sum of current is 0. Now what is happening? 9 ampere is coming, 5 ampere is leaving, and this I2 is also leaving. All the sum must be 0. So this incoming 9 is taken as positive, outgoing negative, this is also outgoing, sum is 0. So I2 is 4. So this is 4 ampere. Clear? And this is 2 ampere. Now come to this junction. This is 2 ampere. This is 4 ampere. This is I3 and this is 1 ampere. Now you see 4 is coming inside, 2 is going minus, 1 is going minus, I3 is going minus 0. So it is 1 minus I3 is equal to 0. So I3 is equal to 1 ampere. In this way you have to solve. So note it down. Pause the screen and note it down so that we can save the time. Okay. Now, so in the first rule we have seen that in a junction how to divide the current, and if we know the two incoming current, how we found the one outgoing current. Okay, now for second rule we have to know certain terms. Junction, just now we have discussed, the point at which more than two conductor meets is known as junction. Second is branch. This is most important word. Branch. Branch means that the path between two junctions. The path between two junctions is known as branch. Example you can see, suppose I am drawing one circuit. This is suppose R1, R2, R3, R4. Now, how many junctions are there? There are two junctions, A and B. Here you can see three conductors are meeting. Here also you can see 1, 2, 3 conductors are meeting. So we have two junctions. Here two junctions. Now, from one junction to second junction, what are the paths through which you can go? Suppose this is LM, NO. Now to go from A to B, there are two paths, A, L, M, B, and second A, N, O, B. So these two paths are known as branch. Whenever you are moving from one junction to another, then you have to see by how many paths you can go. That path is known as the branch, and that branch number is equal to junction plus 1. Junction, number of junction plus 1. Here. Now one most important thing, that in a branch, the current remains same in all the current element. Means suppose I current start here, so in all the branch current is I. Here the branch will end, this is the branch will end here. So from here the current will change. Clear? Current will change. Now one branch is there, second branch, suppose here I1 current is going, so throughout the circuit I1 will be there. This is the second path from between two junction, that is also a branch. We have left that A, suppose this is P, A, P, B is also a branch, three branches are there. And in this, suppose I2 current is flowing, so all over the circuit the current will be I2. This is the important concept which you will need when you are solving the problems of Kirchhoff's law, that in a branch the current remain same. Okay, you can pause and note it down all the things. Next is where more than point where more than three conductor meets. More than two conductor, more than two means at least three conductor must be there. Now loop means a closed path carrying various current element. It is generally, this is the most important word, closed path containing various current element, maybe resistor, maybe cell, whatever it is, but it must be closed. And in this closed path, whatever closed path you are taking, suppose this is the one closed path, this is one closed path, and second you are trying like this. Suppose this is R1, R2, E1, R3, E2, here it is R4. So you can see 1, A, B, C, D, E, F. So how many closed paths are here? See, A, B, C, D, A. Whatever letter you are starting, you have to end from that. That is the way of writing the loop. This is the one loop. Second, A, D, E, F, A. That is the second loop. Third, you can take the larger one, A, B, C, D, E, F, A. This is the third closed loop, closed path. So three closed paths are there. So three closed loop are there in this here. So that is about loop. Network means a circuit containing various current elements and loops is known as the whole network. So that is the meaning of these words. Now we will enter to second rule, Kirchhoff's second rule. This is based on conservation of energy. Based on conservation of energy. This is also known as Kirchhoff's voltage rule. Kirchhoff's voltage law. This is voltage. Kirchhoff's voltage law based on conservation of energy, also known as Kirchhoff voltage rule. So these are the things which is asked generally in 1 marks question. Why it is based on conservation of energy, we will discuss that. First we will try to understand what is Kirchhoff's second law. Kirchhoff told that in a closed loop, the algebraic sum of potential difference the algebraic sum of potential difference is 0, or in a closed loop the algebraic sum of EMF is equal to the sum of product of resistance and the current flowing through it. So this is the Kirchhoff's law. And what is the mathematical terms? First is delta V is equal to 0, and for this second, sum of EMF is sum of current and the resistance through which the current is flowing. So remember, student, this law is taught by different teachers in different way, and in different books also you will see that there are different methods given. So I want to instruct you that when you are taking a particular book or you are following a particular teacher, you have to follow that only. Suppose I am telling you some rule and you see the rule, and you go to another teacher, he is telling the same thing in another way, and you are trying to understand that, then you will get confused. So whatever you are learning from any teacher or from any book, try to follow that only. Otherwise, there will be only confusion and there will be no gain of knowledge of Kirchhoff's second law perfectly. Clear? Okay, you can pause the screen and note it down. Now we will see what are the rules given. Now first, why bet on conservation of energy? You see that in a closed loop, suppose any closed loop is there and involving any resistance and cell, this is the closed loop. Now in the closed loop, the potential difference, suppose you are starting from this point and again you are coming to this point. If you are coming to the same point, what will the potential difference? 0. Means potential difference is equal to work by charge. If this is 0, so what is the work done? 0. If work done is 0, and we have read that work done is equal to change of potential energy. Clear? Means final potential energy minus initial potential energy. This is work done by external force. Already in first chapter we have discussed. And if it is conservative force, then that negative change of potential energy. So if this work done is 0, so you can see that final potential energy is equal to initial potential energy. Means there is no change of potential energy. Means energy is conserved. That is meaning of this law. Okay. All the things we have discussed. Now we will discuss the rule. According to this rule, when you are moving in closed circuit, then you will face some cell in this way or this way. I am drawing the figure so that you can understand. When you are moving in clockwise or anti-clockwise, then suppose you are starting from here. First you will have positive, negative, and then you register, then positive, negative, and then you will come back. So when you are moving along clockwise or anti-clockwise, and when you are moving like this, and in second case you are moving from negative to positive, in this case you are moving from positive to negative. Clear? So if I am taking this as negative EMF. This is lower, this is higher. So I am moving from lower potential to higher potential. Clear? So what will be the difference of this? Difference of this will be negative. Suppose we are taking this as minus E. In some book you will see it is plus E. So it depends on you that which rule you are following. If you are taking this minus E, then this you have to take as plus E. Second thing, if you are moving along the direction of current, and along the direction of current I am taking plus IR, then opposite to the direction of current I have to take minus IR. So this is first rule, this is second rule. Here, this you have to understand in very comfortably, because you will face problem in different book. So whenever you are solving the question, only see the question, don't follow the concept of different book, otherwise you will get confused. In some book you will see that this is taken as plus E and this is minus E. If you are reversing this one, then you have to reverse this also, minus IR, and this will be as plus IR. So this is one rule which I have done. This is one rule. Clear? If you are following to this, stick to this and don't go to other rule. If you are following just opposite, suppose this you are taking as positive, then this you have to take as negative. Clear? And just opposite to this one also, direction of current will taken as minus IR and this as opposite to direction is plus IR. So this is the second part. So I have drawn two brackets and you have to follow only one of them. Don't follow half of them. This rule you are following for this from this part, and this rule you are following, that will be wrong. Either you follow this one or this one. Clear? So that is about the rule of solving the questions of complicated circuit. Suppose you are observing this one, I am omitting this one. Now see how to solve the complicated circuit, current, equivalent resistance, whatever is to be found. Suppose this is the circuit, it involves various things. First, again it is taken, one more cell is there, more resistance is there. Now you see A, B, C, D, E, F. Suppose it is asked to find the current in different branch. How many branches are there? 1, AD, second A, B, C, D, third A, F, E, D. In this current will be same, already we have discussed. So if it is asked find the current in different branch, then what you have to do? First, you take direction of movement in the loop. So you first see how many loops are there. Suppose you are telling that there are two loops. Third loop I am not taking, A, B, C, D, A, and second is A, D, E, F, A. Only these two loops I am taking because maximum question the simple loops are only taken. Third loop, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, A, is generally not required. So if these two loops are there, first you name the loops. Now you try to first is, this is the second part. First, take the loop or write the name of the loop. Second, decide the direction, whether you will go in clockwise or whether you go in anti-clockwise. Remember that in the two loops it is not necessary that in both the loops you have to go in same direction. For example, if you are going in clockwise in this loop you can go in anti-clockwise here, or in both you can go in anti-clockwise, in one clockwise, in anti-clockwise. It depends on the choice of the students. Clear? Third, when you will do all these things, then apply Kirchhoff's first rule. Apply Kirchhoff's first rule at the junction. For distribution of current, for distribution of current, when you apply, when you will distribute, suppose I am telling that from this cell I1 is current is coming, so whatever current coming from cell that will enter in this, I have decided I1. From this cell I2 is current coming, and I1 and I2, this I1 plus I2 is flowing in this branch. So first I have decided the distribution of current by applying Kirchhoff's first rule. And last, when you will do all these things, then at last, fourth point I am writing here, then at last you have to apply Kirchhoff's second rule to find the value of current, equivalent resistance, whatever it is asked. This is Kirchhoff's second rule. In a loop, you have to follow these two rules and you have to write the equation, and then you have to finally solve the value of current and resistance. So that's all about Kirchhoff's law. Student, before entering in the numericals, this all concept, this rule must be clear to you, and the first rule, second rule must be clear to you. So you see the lecture again and again, and then in next class we will start to solve the numericals of Kirchhoff's law. That is very important. So I will stop here, and that's all about Kirchhoff's law. Thank you to all.